The galaxy was busy, trade lanes filled with glowing ships moving like rivers of light. Aliens of every shape and size followed rules, patrols scanned, and empires watched. In such an ordered sky, nothing unusual was supposed to happen. But then it did. A strange light blinked in the dark between lanes. It was not a ship, not a star, not a flare. Just one lonely pulse, steady and slow. Thousands of ships saw it, thousands ignored it. None wanted to waste time. None wanted to risk breaking patrol laws, except one. A human pilot named Aaron sat inside his small ship, the Sparrow. He had no fleet, no power, just a worn ship and a stubborn heart. The signal touched him differently. It felt like a call, like someone knocking on the door of his chest. He slowed his ship while others rushed away. On open comms, an alien patrol warned, "Do not approach the signal. It is restricted space. Anyone who interferes will be punished." The aliens laughed, called it junk, and sped away. Aaron stayed. He turned his ship toward the pulse. The dark around him stretched as he crossed empty space. The light grew sharper until he saw it. A small dead moon, no atmosphere, no colonies, just silence. In the middle of a crater stood a tall beacon of alien design, cracked and broken, but still glowing. Aaron landed, the Sparrow on the dust. His boots sank into gray powder. The beacon pulsed again, this time slower, almost like a heartbeat. He stepped closer, brushing off centuries of dust. Inside the glass core of the beacon, something moved. It was small, almost childlike, metal skin, eyes like cold blue gems, a machine but alive in some way. The tiny figure looked at him, and Aaron froze. Then it spoke in a voice soft as wind. "Keeper," the word echoed in his mind. Aaron stepped back, his hands shaking. "What are you?" he whispered. But the child did not answer. Instead, it reached its hand against the glass. Before he could think, his comm screamed. A patrol cutter appeared above the crater. Its black hull carried the mark of the Dominion. Its voice came cold and sharp. "Human vessel, you are in violation. Step away from the beacon or be destroyed." Aaron's pulse quickened. He looked at the machine child still staring at him. Its eyes glowed brighter. "You are human. You are chosen. You must guard," it said. The cutter's lights swept the crater, counting down to fire. Aaron felt torn. He could leave, run back to the lanes, stay safe, or he could listen to the strange call that no one else answered. The child inside the beacon raised its hand again, pleading. Aaron placed his palm against the glass. The beacon flared. The crater shook. His ship's alarm screamed as power surged. The cutter above shouted threats, but Aaron could not hear them anymore. All he heard was the voice inside the beacon. "The galaxy has forgotten. The Guardians have slept, but now it begins again." Aaron stood frozen, a human pilot with no power, facing the unknown. He had no idea that his single choice would change the future of empires. No idea that the galaxy would soon whisper his name, because on that dead moon, with one simple touch, humanity's role was reborn. Humans were the guardians, and the galaxy never saw it coming. The beacon's light faded into the stars, but its power remained inside Aaron's ship. The Sparrow hummed with new energy it had never carried before. In the cargo hold, the small metal child sat silent, its blue eyes glowing faintly like two frozen suns. Aaron paced the narrow deck, his mind racing. He had done something no one else dared. He had touched the beacon, taken the child, and now he was hunted. The comm crackled. Dominion patrols sweeping the lanes called for him by name. "Human vessel Sparrow, surrender the relic immediately. Failure will mean destruction." Their voices carried no mercy. Aaron gritted his teeth. He knew humans were seen as small players in the galaxy, merchants, wanderers, mercs, nothing more. To carry something powerful was not just dangerous, it was unthinkable. Yet here he was, alone, with a secret no empire could control. The metal child finally spoke. Its voice was calm, almost too calm. "They fear me. They fear what I awaken, but you must not give me to them." Aaron stared. "What are you?" The child tilted its head. "I am a guardian seed. I carry memory. I carry warning. Only a keeper can protect me. Only a human was chosen." Aaron's chest tightened. He had never been chosen for anything in his life. He was a simple pilot with debts and scars, not a hero, but there was no turning back. Engines screamed behind him. Dominion ships closed in fast. 3 cutters, black like vultures in the dark. Their weapons locked. Their voices shouted final warnings. Aaron slammed his fist against the console. He whispered, "If humans are really guardians, then let me prove it." He pulled the lever, and the Sparrow dived through a broken asteroid field. The cutters followed, red beams cutting rock to dust. Aaron spun the small ship like a knife in the dark. Alarms blared, metal groaned, but he pushed harder. He knew these paths better than machines. He Had flown scraps and smuggler routes his whole life. One cutter struck a stone and tore apart. The other two pressed closer. Aaron's ship shook as a beam grazed the hull. His heart pounded. Sweat rolled down his face. Then the child spoke again. Left, not right. Trust me. Aaron hesitated, but obeyed. He jerked the ship left into a narrow canyon of spinning rocks. It was madness. No ship should fit. Yet the Sparrow slid through, guided by unseen force. Behind him the cutters tried. One was crushed between stones. The other lost power, drifting dead. Aaron burst out of the field into open space, gasping for breath, his ship scarred but alive. He looked back at the child. It was still calm, glowing brighter. You are keeper now. The galaxy will chase, but you must not let go. Aaron leaned back, his chest rising and falling. He thought of the thousands of ships that ignored the beacon, the empires that ruled with fear, and the strange truth he now carried. He whispered, "Why me?" The child's eyes glowed deeper. Because humans do not run when the sky knocks. You listen, you endure. That is why you were chosen. Outside, the stars stretched endless. Dominion patrols scattered, searching. Alien councils would soon know what happened. The chase had only begun. Aaron gripped the controls of the Sparrow. For the first time, he felt the weight of something greater than survival. He was not running anymore. He was carrying a burden the galaxy had forgotten. Humans were small, but maybe small was enough. Because now, with every star watching, the hunt for the Guardian had begun, and only a human stood in the way. The Sparrow drifted into the shadow of a forgotten world. It was a dusty rock near the edge of mapped space, ignored by traders, avoided by empires. No patrols searched here, no council cared. For Aaron, it was the perfect hiding place. He landed in the ruins of an old station. The air was thin, the halls silent. Once it had been a mining post, now it was nothing but rust and bones of steel. Aaron powered down the engines. Every light on the console dimmed until only silence filled the ship. The metal child sat on a crate, blue eyes glowing faintly, watching Aaron without blinking. It had not spoken since the escape, but its gaze carried weight. At last it whispered, "This place remembers. Guardians once walked here." Aaron frowned. Guardians? Like you? Or like me? The child tilted its head. Both. Humans carried the flame once, but time buried the truth. The empires erased it, because Guardians do not serve rulers. Guardians protect life. Aaron felt a chill. He had grown up hearing aliens laugh at humans, calling them reckless, weak, stubborn. Never had he heard of humans as guardians. He shook his head. If that's true, why doesn't anyone remember? The child looked away. Because remembering is dangerous. If people knew the truth, the empires would fall. Before Aaron could ask more, movement stirred outside the ruins. He grabbed his blaster and peered through a cracked window. Figures emerged from the dust. Smugglers, scavengers, outcasts. Rough voices echoed in the station. "Looks like fresh meat parked here," one growled. Aaron cursed under his breath. He had come to hide, but now trouble had found him. The smugglers surrounded the Sparrow, weapons ready. They were not Dominion patrols, but they were no less dangerous. Their leader, a tall reptilian with scarred scales, stepped forward. "Nice ship, human. You're hiding something. I can smell it. Give it up. And maybe we let you walk." Aaron tightened his grip on the blaster, but the child spoke softly. "Do not fight them. Guardians protect, not destroy. Speak to them." Aaron hesitated, then lowered his weapon just enough. He stepped out, raising his hands. "I'm just passing through. No cargo, no trouble." The smugglers laughed. "Everyone has cargo. We'll search and see." Before they moved, the beacon child appeared at the hatch. Its glow lit the dust. The smugglers froze, eyes wide. The leader hissed, "What in the void is that?" The child's voice carried strange calm. "I am memory. I am guardian seed. You must not harm my keeper." The smugglers shifted uneasily. Some backed away, others whispered about cursed relics. The leader, though greedy, licked his lips. "That thing is worth more than 10 fleets. The Dominion pays gold for such toys." Aaron's pulse raced. He knew what was coming. Betrayal, capture. He took a step closer to the smugglers, his voice hard. "If you sell me, you'll die before you're paid. The Dominion destroys all witnesses. They want the secret buried, not shared." The smugglers faltered, murmurs spreading. They all knew the Dominion's cruelty. Some began retreating, not wanting death. But the leader snarled, "Lies. I'll take it myself." He raised his weapon. Before the shot fired, the child lifted its hand. A pulse of light rippled across the ruins. The smugglers stumbled, their weapons dead, sparks flying. Fear twisted their faces. They fled into the dust, leaving the leader alone. He dropped his gun and ran. Aaron stood stunned, staring at the child. "What did you just do?" The child lowered its hand. I reminded them, Guardians do not need armies, only will. Aaron exhaled, his body shaking. He realized this was only the beginning. If the smugglers had seen the child, word would spread. Soon the galaxy would know. The child looked at him with tight eyes like stars. Keeper, you cannot hide forever. The test is coming. The ward must be awakened. Aaron swallowed. He had no idea what the ward was, or what test awaited. But deep inside, he felt too. The ruins lay quiet after the smugglers fled. Dust floated like ghosts in the air. Aaron sat inside the Sparrow, staring at the child. His heart still raced from the near fight. He rubbed his face, whispering, I can't keep running like this. The child tilted its head. You will not. The time has come for trial. Aaron frowned. Trial? I'm no warrior. I'm just a pilot. The child's blue eyes glowed brighter. Guardians are not chosen for war. They are chosen for choice. Before Aaron could ask what that meant, the world around him shifted. The metal walls of the ship melted into light. The air shimmered. Suddenly he stood in a vast chamber of fire and shadow. Stars burned in the ceiling. Rivers of molten light cut through the floor. The child stood at the center, but now taller, older. Its voice echoed like thunder. This is the flame, the Guardian's trial. Pass, and the seed awakens. Fail, and the galaxy falls into silence. Aaron's chest tightened. What do I have to do? The figure raised its hand. Two shapes appeared before Aaron. One was an alien soldier, bleeding, begging for help. The other was a human mercenary, weapon drawn, ready to kill. The figure's voice rang. Mercy or revenge, Keeper? Which will you choose? Aaron's breath came fast. His mind screamed to defend himself, to kill the mercenary before he struck. But his heart ached at the sight of the soldier in pain. He dropped to his knees, tearing strips from his jacket to press against the alien's wound. The mercenary raised his gun, fire blazing in his eyes. Aaron braced for death, but the gun turned to ash in the mercenary's hands. The figure's voice rolled like thunder. You chose mercy. You chose to protect. That is the path of a guardian. The flames roared, and the chamber shifted again. Now a city appeared, tall towers under alien skies. Crowds screamed as fire fell from above. Aaron saw ships burning, families running. The child's voice spoke again. Save the few or save the many, Keeper. Who will you guard? Aaron's throat tightened. He spotted a small group of children trapped in a burning hall. Their cries pierced him. Farther away, hundreds more rushed toward collapsing bridges. He could only run one way. His legs moved before thought. He charged toward the children, carrying two in his arms and pulling another by the hand. The hall collapsed behind him, and the bridges crumbled. Hundreds were lost. Aaron fell to his knees, tears in his eyes. I should have saved more, he whispered. The figure stepped from the fire. No guardian saves all. You save what you can. That is the burden. The flames dimmed. The visions faded. Aaron stood again in the ruins of the station, his breath ragged. The child returned to its small form, sitting quietly on a crate. Its eyes glowed softer now. You have passed, it said simply. Aaron shook his head. I let people die. How is that passing? The child answered. Guardians are not gods. They are not perfect. They are human. That is enough. Aaron sat heavily, his hands trembling. He was no soldier, no leader. Yet the trial had shown him something. Guardianship was not about power. It was about choice. It was about standing when others turned away. The child's voice lowered to a whisper. The ward stirs. The empires will come, and the hunger waits in the dark. You must be ready. Aaron looked out the cracked window of the ruin. The stars stretched endless. Somewhere out there, fleets were already moving. Somewhere out there, something far worse was awakening. And here, in the silence of a forgotten world, a single human had been marked as guardian. Across the galaxy, whispers spread like fire in dry grass. A human had touched the forbidden beacon. A human had awakened the seed. And worse, the seed had accepted him. In the high spire of the Dominion, lords gathered around a glowing table of stars, their scaled faces grim. If this story is true, the humans now hold the key. One hissed. That cannot be allowed. They are too reckless. Another slammed his clawed hand. Humans are not fit to guard anything. They are vermin in the lanes. If the seed belongs to them, it must be torn away. In another corner of the galaxy, the Seraph Council of winged aliens argued under glass towers, their voices soft but sharp. The guardianship was prophecy, and now it is fulfilled. One whispered. Others shook their heads. If humans rise as guardians, our dominion of peace will end. We cannot let primitives guide the flame. Messages flew between courts, threats hidden in polite words. Armies shifted quietly in the dark. For the first time in centuries, empires felt fear. Not fear of war with each other, but fear of a human holding something greater than their fleets. Meanwhile, Aaron sat in the dim light of the ruined station, unaware of the chaos his name carried. The beacon child watched him silently. At last it said, "They are afraid of you." Aaron gave a bitter laugh. "Afraid of me? I'm just a man with a broken ship. Why would they fear me?" The child's voice carried weight. "Not you alone. They fear what you represent. They fear what humans are. You do not bow easily. You do not break easily. That is why the seed chose you." Aaron leaned back against the wall. His hands trembled. "I never asked for this," he muttered. The child tilted its head. "Guardians are never asked. They are needed." Above the ruined world, the first wave of seekers arrived, a fleet of mercenaries under alien banners, not Dominion, not Council B. It hired hands. Their ships circled the skies like sharks tasting blood. A message cut through Aaron's comms. "Human pilot, surrender the relic. We offer payment, protection, and pardon." Aaron's jaw tightened. He knew the truth. No matter what words they spoke, if he surrendered, the child would vanish into silence, and the galaxy would lose its chance. He answered with steady voice, "I don't have what you're looking for." The mercenaries laughed. "Then will come search." Their ships descended, engines howling. Aaron looked at the child. "What do we do now?" The child's eyes burned brighter. "You must awaken the ward. The flame alone cannot fight armies. The ward is hidden. It waits, but only a guardian can find it." The ground shook as mercenaries landed. Boots struck the dust. Blasters hummed. Aaron grabbed his weapon. Though his hands shook, he knew he could not fight them all. He whispered, "If humans are really guardians, then I'll prove it now." The child stepped forward, its small form glowing like a torch in the dark. "Then stand, Keeper, and let the galaxy see." Outside, mercenaries shouted, their shadows stretching across the ruins. Inside, a lone human prepared for the storm. His choice would echo through councils, through fleets, through empires that thought themselves untouchable, because guardianship was no longer myth. It had flesh, breath, and a human name. The mercenaries never had a chance. As they stormed the ruins, the beacon child raised its hand. A wave of silent energy rippled outward. Weapons turned cold, engines shut down, and soldiers dropped their rifles in panic. They fled into the dust, leaving their ships like broken toys scattered in the sand. Aaron watched in shock, his blaster still in his hands. His voice was barely a whisper. "You didn't kill them." The child's glowing eyes turned toward him. "Guardians protect. We end threats without ending life. That is the way." Before Aaron could answer, the air shivered, not from the child, but from the sky itself. A sound like thunder without end rolled across the stars. Aaron's comms sparked alive. Waves of alien chatter filled the channel, whole fleets screaming warnings. "The hunger wakes," one voice cried, another shouted. "World devourers are moving. The void swarm is alive." Aaron's chest froze. He turned to the child. "What is the hunger?" The child's face was calm, too calm. "The reason guardians were made, long ago, the swarm came. It devoured planets, it silenced empires, only guardians stood against it. But when the last fell, the galaxy forgot, until now." Out in the darkness, Aaron's ship sensors flickered. Shapes crawled across the edge of space, not ships, not fleets, but living things, enormous and endless. Their bodies shimmered like black oceans with teeth. Whole stars dimmed as the swarm passed. Aaron swallowed hard. "How do we fight that?" The child's voice did not waver. "With light, the flame you carry is not a weapon. It is a key, but to use it, the ward must awaken. Only then can the swarm be stopped." Aaron gripped the console of the Sparrow, his hands slick with sweat. He thought of running, thought of hiding, but deep inside he knew there was no place left to run. If the swarm reached the trade lanes, if it reached the worlds, billions would die. The comms buzzed again, not Dominion, not Council, but voices of outcasts, smugglers, and small human crews scattered in the lanes. "Aaron, we heard what you carry. We know the beacon called you. Tell us where to stand, and we'll stand with you." Aaron's throat tightened. He never thought anyone would follow him, yet here they were, not fleets, not armies, but a handful of stubborn humans and aliens who still believed. He closed his eyes and whispered, "All right then, if we're guardians, let's act like it." The child's glow spread across the ship, circuits lit with strange fire. The Sparrow hummed with power beyond its size. "The ward lies ahead," the child said, pointing toward a dark cluster of stars. "But the swarm already moves. You must be faster than fear. Engines roared. The ship leapt forward, dragging its allies behind. Aaron stared at the endless shapes waiting in the black. His heart pounded. His mind screamed he was only one man, only one pilot. But a stronger voice whispered back, humans endure, humans protect, humans do not quit. The swarm shrieked as if sensing him, whole rivers of black forms turning toward the small human ship. The galaxy watched in silence, empires frozen in fear, and in that moment, with the dark closing in, Aaron's path was clear. The hunger had come, but so had the Guardians. The void shook as the swarm descended. Black shapes spread across the stars like a storm without end. Their bodies shimmered with cold light. Their cries rattled the hull of the Sparrow. Every sensor screamed danger. Aaron sat at the controls, sweat dripping from his brow. Around him, small ships followed. Human freighters, smugglers, even alien strays who had nothing left to lose. They were not fleets. They were not armies, but they came. The beacon child stood in the center of the deck, glowing brighter than ever. Its voice filled the ship. The ward waits. If you awaken it, the flame will burn, and the swarm will break. Aaron's voice cracked. And if I fail? The child's answer was simple. Then all falls silent. The swarm lunged, rivers of black pouring toward them. Aaron pushed the Sparrow forward, weaving between living giants. His allies fired weak weapons, their shots barely scratching the swarm, but they bought time. At the heart of the dark cluster lay the ward, a colossal structure hidden in dust. It was not a beacon, but a star forge, ancient and broken. Its surface cracked, its light gone cold. The child raised its hand. Touch it, Keeper. Only you can wake it. Aaron guided the ship closer. Claws of the swarm raked the hull. His allies shouted over comms, "We can't hold much longer." One by one their signals cut, but still they fought, buying him moments. He landed the ship on the dead surface. The ground shook with every strike of the swarm. Aaron ran, the child floating beside him. At the center of the forge stood a crystal throne of light, blackened with age. The child whispered, "Place your hand. Give it choice." Aaron pressed his palm against the cold crystal. Nothing happened at first. His heart sank. Then the trial's voices echoed in his mind. The soldier, the mercenary, the children he saved, the lives he could not. The forge blazed. Fire spur. Eat across the cracks. The whole ward lit like a rising star. Above, the swarm shrieked as light speared into the void. The forge unleashed a wave of brilliance, not to kill, but to drive back. The swarm recoiled, their endless tide breaking apart, fleeing into shadow. The galaxy watched in silence. Fleets in every empire saw the Starforge flare, saw the swarm turn. They whispered in fear, in awe, in disbelief. A human had awakened the ward. A human had held the flame. Aaron fell to his knees, his body trembling. The child stood beside him, now glowing like a small sun. "It is done," it said. "The hunger is beaten back, but not gone. Guardianship is not victory, it is duty, and now you carry it." Aaron looked out at the endless sky. He thought of the smugglers who ran, the outcasts who stood, the allies who fell. He whispered, "I'm only one man." The child touched his hand. One man was enough, because humans are never alone. Your kind carries stubborn hope. That is why the galaxy never saw you coming. Back on the lanes, alien councils trembled. The Dominions sat in silence. The Seraph Council bowed their wings. For the first time, they realized the truth. Guardianship did not belong to empires. It belonged to humans who chose to stand. The forge pulsed one final time, sending a message across the stars. Not words, but a truth every mind could feel. Humans are the guardians, and the galaxy will never forget it.